Hello everyone, this is the QA meeting happening on June 21st, 2018. So today's agenda is going over the bugs for the 6.0 release. Before we close out the release for next week, we just wanted to go over some of these bugs if these are really important to be fixed. So I hope everyone can see the screen. So there are two blockers on the top of the list. I think the second one can be ignored, but the first one is from Andy.
We discussed the database persistence issue at on the platform call yesterday. I think we're still in agreement that for this release we just needed to put a band-aid on here, and then we'll revisit this issue for 7.0. Gopi is taking the lead on it. I don't know if he's on the call, if he has any status to report, but I think he has an idea of how he wants to proceed, but as of yesterday morning, he hadn't really made progress implementing something.
Yeah, Gopi and John will just join in the call.
Hey guys. Okay, good.
Gopi, we are just discussing that first bug, XOS database does not persist. Any idea on that? Andy?
Okay, so I spent some time since yesterday. I had a little bit of trouble. We discussed a couple of options. One was a host path option that Andy proposed. The other one is a new feature in Kubernetes in 1.10. I started testing the new feature. I was able to create a storage class and a volume provisioner. I just need to test that with a specific container. The documentation around that is a little tricky because there are not a lot of samples on how to use that with a pod, so I'm reading through some stuff. I hope to have some answer today. If it does turn out that this is a lot trickier than the host path solution that Andy proposed, I might just suggest that we go down that route, because it does look like with the 1.10 persistent local volume solution, we will still have to bind the container to a specific node. If that is the case, we don't really have to jump through the hoops to create a local volume, a persistent volume, and a claim and all that stuff, because a host path will let us do that anyway. So I'm trying to dig through that, the nuances of differences between them. I'll definitely have an answer today.
Is this something that we need to document?
Yes, we will, but right now the documentation is not very clear to me. I'm confused, so I need to clear my head before I document it.
Okay. But we need also to decide what to do before documenting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, it will boil down to the difference between the host path approach and the local persistent volume approach, which is a newer approach. That's it. That's the update from me.
Okay, thanks, Gopi. Anything from you, Andy, before we move on?
No, I don't have anything to add.
The next one is Yowang's, that is segment routing related, and Gopi.
Yeah, so I have this. I have a patch set for this. I've just not tested it. So the long and short of this is we will deploy Volta with etcd but without Kafka. I have two patch sets for this. One is the documentation patch set, and the other one is the actual helm chart changes. The helm chart changes patch set is up and ready to test, but I've not found the time to test it because I've been looking at getting this persistent volume thing working. I think I'll have either I will do it or I will try and I'll try and request either Jono or Theo to do it for me. It should not be a big deal. One of the wrinkles with this is that the etcd Helm chart, the external Helm chart that we are using, has been changed to fix the potential bug that we have been facing. That is, we had to install etcd first, then uninstall it, and then reinstall it. The creator of the Helm chart reached out to me and said that that bug is fixed. I have to test it. So if you are using that, the new bug fix, then the documentation for that will also change. So I did include that in the new version of etcd in my patch set. I just have to make sure that the fix that he's talking about actually does exist, and I'll have to document that. So 2 patch sets. Again, we are very, very close to completion on that. I just need to find like an hour or 2 to test it.
Okay, thanks, Gopi. So when you merge these patch sets, please let us know because we are also doing these tests anyway.
Okay. Do you want to test the patch set itself, or you don't do that?
At this time, I think we prefer after you do a sanity test, then after the code is merged, then we will do the final test.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now we are busy with the other things. So
Yeah, I think next time we can deploy the pod. We can use that. We can use that patch.
Okay, that sounds great.
We need to deploy another Kafka separately, right?
Yeah. I'll update the documentation if you guys are ready to do it.
What does your documentation say to deploy another Kafka or actually?
So deploy another Kafka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we use the same Kafka that we already have running?
Technically we could. I don't want to go down that route.
Okay.
Because I didn't test it. I don't know what other issues you might have.
I don't know why everybody's so afraid to use the same Kafka.
No, it's not afraid. It's the lack of time to look at subtle issues. No.
So why subtle issues? Because separate topics are separate topics, right?
Are we sure they're separate topics?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're sure, then it's fine.
Yeah, anyway, we can have it out.
Yeah.
Decide how to deploy.
Yeah. So these are the questions. You know, we need to be sure of a few things.
Yeah. I just want to figure out the QA, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it about this.
okay, thanks, Gopi.
No problem.
Yowang, this must be the Onos one, right?
Yeah, these are all segment routing.
Okay, yeah, just confirming. There are a couple items that I wanted to bring to Matteo also. Matteo, the next 2 bugs about these, would you be able to fix them?
I don't know.
Okay.
So Sorav is putting a little bit of meat on my plate this week. So I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So in case we are fixing it, then I would prioritize 3159 first, the duplicates on these fabric models.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I think as well it's fine because this happens when you're trying to repost the same model again. So
If anyone has 3 cycles on that and want to pick it up, feel free.
okay, so all the other bugs are like medium priority. So if anybody wants to bring from this list, then we can, because I have already gone through all the other bugs earlier. And there are also some few bugs which are already fixed and they have not been closed in this list. Maybe we can just close them out. And as an example, these VSG instances, we are not planning to fix them anymore. Probably those we can just close them. So I hope like 5.0 PTRs bugs, what are we doing? Should we just close them, saying an appropriate reason?
You're talking about bugs that only apply to 5.0 or the old build system and those sorts of things?
Yes, exactly. Like as an example, this bug over here is like VSG instances, and there are other max instances issues, and there I have seen couple other which are related to the 5.0 functionality itself.
Right. I think that makes sense. I guess I can't see a reason why we would need to go back and fix those if they're fairly minor things. Like I know the Matthew Davis ones there. I responded to a few of those, but I don't think they're serious enough to need triage. Or I don't think they're serious enough that we need to go back into 5.0 and fix them.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I can go through these QA bugs and then I just close them, stating this reason that we are not supporting 5.0,
Right.
fixing them.
We're not fixing
Fixing.
things that are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, fixing. That's the right word. Okay, there are no other bugs from our side. Anyone else that needs to bring up any other issues that we want to discuss here?
So I just see in the filter that the status is only in progress and oh no, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah.
Never mind.
I didn't include done because we don't want to show a lot of
Yeah. But I think there are a little more like blockers around. Maybe they were created in different dates.
They're not issue type bug.
Probably not issue type. Yeah. If it is bug, then it is shown here. I'm only filtering for bugs here.
But if you go on the board, there is a blocker filter.
You mean
Board.
okay.
Board. The second one.
Second one. This one you mean?
Yeah. And if you go on release blocker.
Oh, okay.
No, it's on the top quick filters release blocker.
And not done and all issues in the epics list. And you need to select not done up at the top so that it filters the done items.
Yeah, so these will include stories as well. So Zach, do you want to go over these?
Yeah, sure. For 3117, review process for versioning the 6.0 release. I've taken this on. I have some patch sets and I have some updates to those patch sets that do the version tagging. I need to write documentation, and I think we just need to agree about a process for that. I'll bring that up during the stand up today. I think it's pretty straightforward. The next one is physical eNode B working with 6.0. Andy, that's
right. Yo Wang is trying to make progress here right now with Carmelo and O's. Still not, I don't think, completely working yet. Ping Ping, I think, is coming back maybe today. So that is probably when we'll start making faster progress on this.
3037 is automation tool repo feature complete and tested. This is some jobs. I think it has some subtasks, and those are related to the M-core and the R-core test. So making the R-core test work on real hardware and the M-core test have somewhat parity with the 5.0 tests. So I think those are both in progress. We already talked about 3142, which is the database persistent. 3071 is automation for the OpenStack Helm install. Is that
That's basically just the M-core parity test that you mentioned.
Okay. 3144 is we need Volt of 1.4 to be released. Jono, do you have input on that?
Yeah, so if we're gonna wait to release code until sometime next week, then I wanted to wait for a couple of other stuff coming into Volta before I start that release. But I can actually if we need it sooner, I can do it sooner. We just want to see features. It's not a huge deal. It's just kind of nice to have. But
can we do an RC and then eventually add if we need to? You can also say
in
no.
theory, yeah.
So like, how long is it gonna take to release the Volta?
Usually, probably a day or so. Once I have the commits that I need to release and they test it.
Okay, yeah. So
one
day, and we need to update it only in the chart.
Yeah.
So I think we can wait until we are basically ready with Cord, and then we see how far the community want to include us.
Yeah.
What are the two features?
Big thing is this move. Big thing is this move to a different version of Val, which is Switch software, because it's a pain to have to switch between the two different versions. So if you version switch, stay with the new version, then it's easier for us to deal with this dev stuff which we're taking out. So yeah, it's still hard to explain, but basically just trying to keep everything consistent going forward, rather than having to switch back and forth between two different versions of the software.
Just feel like we're waiting for it then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal. So I don't want to block the cord release longer on this. But if we have more time for cord release, then I'll wait a little bit. Or hopefully the next 2 days these commits should come in.
2 days?
Yeah, say Thursday. We still have almost the whole day.
Okay, so the outcome of that is we wait until, if we're going to wait, we wait for it, and if we don't need to wait on other things, we just go ahead with what we have.
Yeah, if you guys are saying that, oh, we want to release cord right now, then I'll do a Volta release right now. But if we're going to release cord at the end of next week, then we have a little bit more time.
I guess I feel like the database persistence thing probably needs a little bit of testing, so maybe we should just wait for that. That's my impression. If there are other opinions,
Yeah, I don't think we're going to release immediately since we still need to solve that issue.
Yeah.
Well, I thought QA said they needed it until at least next week. Anyway.
Is that correct, Suchitra?
Yes, we requested until next week, mostly because we are completely blocked with some of the issues that we are testing with the OLT and ONE. We have been facing many issues, but we have not successfully completed one scenario.
Okay, so I guess we wait on that, and that should be fine.
Are you thinking like end of the week or start of the week? Do you have any ideas, teacher?
Jono, honestly, we thought that by mid of this week we will be able to finish if everything goes smooth. So I am hoping that if there are no other issues now, since the port is being recognized, it shouldn't take long. If there are no issues, just 1 day is enough. But again, if it goes on for a week, we need to talk about it again, because I don't know how long do we have to keep waiting, because we might be also hitting these hardware related issues, which is not really software related too. So tentatively Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Okay, go.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes well.
Okay, if we move on, 3171 is removing build platform install. So basically the old build system from the manifest, the repo manifest. I have patches to do this. I asked Kailash to look over them because some of them involve changes to the testing where we're using files inside a platform install. And it also makes it so that those tests only run on legacy branches. So that's pretty straightforward. I think there's some other tests, Matteo said, were for RCord and MCord that need to be moved over or changed so that they don't reference those checkouts. So that's in progress. Additionally, because this will delete, when you do a repo sync, it might delete those repos. We need to notify people that if they have patch sets that were against master, that they might get deleted. So I'm going to make a mailing list post before we merge all of this. So that's in progress. What do we know about 3172?
So this is something I just discovered yesterday. So Scott fixed a bug with the synchronizer framework that was causing synchronizers to report okay, even though the synchronizer was failing. And when he fixed that bug, it revealed that this BSP-DWC synchronizer actually was failing. So it needs to be updated for 6.0. It looks like it's mainly a matter of fixing how it contacts Onos, because it needs to, at least the way it's written right now, it needs to write some stuff directly to Onos, or no, it's actually querying Onos to find out information. So I haven't synced up with PingPing yet to figure out if this is actually a release blocker, but I assume that it is. I'm looking at it, trying to figure out what to do. Hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have something. That's it.
If you're talking, Sujitra, you're muted.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking. I was waiting.
Okay. Is that everything? Or did we want to go over the backlog? It looks like some of those are pretty old.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think, yes. Bugs are all done, and then these are the release blockers. Nothing to bring up from QA side except the progress. As I mentioned, that we have been trying to test this OLT and ONU, and we have been facing many issues. Some of them, like the hardware port, was a problem, and also some software issues. But we haven't gone to a place where we can still do a ping from end to end. But rest of the places where we were configuring the various sections of the end-to-end part is all doing good, and now we need to see whether we will be able to progress or not. So that's the status from QA. All other things are being taken care of. QA documentation is done, and all other rest of the stories are complete. And except for MCOD, we still need to do a little bit of testing. And whatever are being agreed as part of the COD 6.0 test plan, most of them have been done except the data plane testing. So that's the status of QA. So maybe we can update again, start like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So one request, Matteo and Jono, I know that you have been testing the bottom-up provisioning. So if you have already tested that, is it fine to just leave that testing from QA side? Because I'm not sure how it is going to proceed from our side. And then if we can delay the release for some time longer, then it's fine. We can take it up. But I was thinking that at least the top-down provisioning, if it is complete from QA side, then we just wanted to request that if we can ignore the zero-touch provisioning.
I guess that's a question of what is the actual our code functionality that we're going to release. I'm not sure if that was ever quite resolved.
Oh.
If we say that the code that I release contains only the top-down workflow, then yeah, I think that's fine. And the bottom-up is kind of a bonus or works as well as it works kind of thing. Then I guess that's okay.
Oh, okay. So when do we know this then?
I don't know. It's a question for, I don't know.
That's a good question. Who is the question for?
Okay, so maybe Saurav? Do I need to ask Saurav about this? Should I ask Saurav about this?
Yeah, I think either Saurabh or Larry or both.
Okay. All right. Yeah, then I can ask them and then prioritize accordingly because we just have very little time to release the 6.0.
Sujitra, this is Sriju here. So, I
Appreciate.
mean, in any case, like even if we do bottom up or top down provisioning, I mean, we still have the same bottleneck of running a ping test, right?
Yeah, the problem is what I'm trying to say here is let's say the ping test is working fine by Tuesday and or
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, and
Okay.
yeah, then we do not have much time to release 6.0, and then we wanted to release it by this week actually.
Okay.
So that is it's based on the timeline.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my understanding was like the bottom up is the most important one, and the top down is it's it's a secondary one. That's what my impression was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I need to confirm. Honestly, I do not know which is the prioritized one.
Okay.
Okay, anyone has anything else to discuss?
Sujitra, I mean, since you are here, I posted this question in the Slack also. I have a quick question on what for the MCOR testing, do you use any ENBs or
Inode based, right?
yeah?
Yeah, I think that is the one which Andy was referring to, that ping ping, and now right now Yowang is also helping in testing with Inode bees.
Okay, I mean, just I mean, what in ENOD Bs are you using? I mean, it's a physical ENOD B. That's all I understand. So what I mean, what from which company or what exactly is that?
Maybe Yowang can answer that question. Yowang, can you? I might be wrong on that.
I'm not sure about the details of that device. Andy, do you know anything about that, B?
No, I don't know anything about the physical hardware. That's probably a question for O's or Ping Ping.
Okay, okay. But the current testing is again, I mean, I just remember a Slack chat, I mean, a statement from Ping Ping telling in 5.0 we were using a physical ENOD B. So it's the same thing with 6.0 also, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's been any changes to the
Okay.
B between 5.0 and 6.0.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay. Thanks everyone then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.